Dak Prescott. The question on everyone's lips is, are they going to resign him to a massive contract? Does he deserve this massive contract? Or does he deserve to find a new place somewhere else outside of Jerry World? Well, I believe you have a few views, maybe just teensy number of views on this issue. So I'm going to go with you first. But lead us in.
Yeah, no, I think this whole situation is really interesting because this is nothing really against the player that is Dak Prescott. This is more of a case of, I think certain teams sometimes hold their guy at a higher standard. Like they want to believe more can come out of a situation. I honestly think that Dak Prescott in Dallas has ran its course. He's a good quarterback and he can be productive in this league, but it depends where Dallas want to go. I don't think Dak should be a part of that plan. And I think it's going to be better for him. Like he's going to get his money. I think me and Pete were talking pre-show earlier today. He's going to get his money from someone. All right. He'd rather get it from a team that wants him there and is content with the type of player they're getting. Like Dak Prescott, like we've seen it. He's just under a decade in the league, I believe, or is he just eclipsed over a decade in the league? But he's not going to miraculously get any better. What you get is what you get. And that's not a bad thing. He's a good QB and he can play very well. But it's not enough. Like me and Pete were talking earlier. Like when I look at QBs, even guys that haven't gone to the dance.
He's 8 years in the league. Yeah, 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years in the league. So even with QBs that haven't gone to the dance, I can see the potential. Like I feel as though those guys are going to have the potential to win a chip. Justin Herbert, absolutely. Lamar Jackson, absolutely. Josh Allen, absolutely. I'm not getting that vibe. I'm not getting it from Dak Prescott. Don't get me wrong. If the situation's right, both sides of the ball are where they need to be, he can get there. But I think it's just ran its course. And I'm playing it through in my head. In my opinion, I'm just going to be straight. I think this is what Dallas will do. I don't know what Jerry wants to do. It's Jerry's guy. He drafted him. He always look after his guys at the end of the day. But if not, I reckon they move Dak, go with Trey Lance. If they lose games, okay, cool. We've got a young team. We can pay everyone. We've got enough money now to get Diggs, to get Parsons, to get Lamb. We lose games, okay, cool. Trey Lance, use him as a bridge. We're not expecting much. We got him for cheap. Cool. If we lose games, we're able to draft the QB of the future, maybe trade up a little bit to get the guy. The options are there, all right? But all I'm saying is I think the Dak era in Dallas has run its course. That's my stance on that whole situation. Should he get his money? He'll get his money.
So
just not from Dallas.
Okay, I'm gonna I have no skin in the game in terms of the Cowboys. Obviously, Cowboys are your favorite team's divisional rival, but you'd rather they keep Dak to keep them divisional rivals in terms of they are in the same division, right? But if you look at the record that the Cowboys have when Dak actually plays, the Cowboys are 73-41 in the regular season, right? Now, a team that is 73-41 should not have 2 playoff wins in 8 years.
Yep.
Correct?
One and done.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not necessarily his fault. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily his fault, but you can't have a record like that and perform like that in the playoffs. It doesn't just fall on the QB.
Correct.
But I think the majority of it, like if I had to say, I'd probably say 70-80% of that performance, unless like one side of the ball really lets you down, 70-80% of that, like the QB has to show up.
So last year, one side of the ball definitely did let them down, right? Mm-hmm. That Cowboys game was, it was something special. And if you let me look at it, because I need to get the game up, and I need to understand. So okay. Cowboys, continue, Peter. You.
So I'm not sure, like, in terms of, like, I agree with Will in the sense of Dak Prescott doesn't strike me as we right on polls. The best GM said something recently about why he drafted Caleb Williams, and he said Caleb Williams is a QB that you win because of, no win with. And I think, Will, you're saying that Prescott is a QB you win with, not because of, you know. And I agree that he's not. But in the NFL, most teams are so scared of, if I don't have a competent quarterback, my franchise is going to go wayward. And I think that is, you know, NFL teams pay to have a starting quarterback most of the time. Like, when I say competent, they pay for a quarterback that can get them to win in a regular season and then hope they have the team around them to win in the postseason. There are very few quarterbacks, or you could count on one finger, or 10, or certainly 10, or even it might be even less than 10, that has the tag of because of him, like you were mentioning earlier. So I do agree with you in that assessment. But for you, for your Eagles, do you want Dak to stay or you want Dak to go? Because he has a great record against your Eagles, though, in the division. You do know that.
Mhm. I mean, either or, if he stays, well, good. I mean, Dallas Cowboys are not going to go the distance. If
Yeah,
he
but you
goes, I
keep
think
winning
I think
against
it's
your
more.
Yeah,
Eagles, though.
Yeah, but I Dallas are more
and
dangerous with him not there.
I
Personally,
understand the rationale behind Will's thinking here, because if you think about it, the amount of money that they're going to need to pay Dak
Mm.
will mean one of
53,
their stars will have to
50
go.
million. Yep.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I was speaking to Will earlier, I agree. Because right now, they have three players, if you take that out, that want contract extensions now. CD wants his money.
He
Michael wants his
Deserving.
deserves his
money.
money. Micah
No,
Micah
deserves his money.
deserving.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and even Diggs deserve his money. They all deserve, but I'm just saying, they want it now. Apart, I haven't heard about Diggs pushing for a contract yet, but those two, CD and what do you call it, and
Micah
Micah,
Parsons.
wants their extensions to start to be done before they do their fifth option, because they've done, all of them have played 4 seasons for both of them, and they both want their deals to be done. Well, certainly Michael wants his money, and they both want to up each other, because after Justin Jefferson's deal for 35 million per year, which is the highest non QB, CD wants to be the highest paid receiver, so he wants 35 and a half or 36. He doesn't want to match it, he wants to up it. Micah now will say, if CD gets 35 and a half or 36, I want 37 or 38. I want to be the highest non-paid QB in the game.
And this one-upmanship will mean there's no room to pay QB top dollar. You can't.
And
Yep.
that, I mean, yeah, because that also would want to be the highest paid quarterback, because right now the highest paid quarterback, is it, how much is it? Is it 55 right now? That's the highest paid at the moment.
I look at spot rack.
It's
The
it's a hard decision to make. Like, I think me and Pete were talking about this. Like, the Dallas Cowboys are such a unique situation because usually GMs and head coaches sometimes are on the hot seat.
yeah, Joe Burrow
We were talking
55.
we were talking
And
about this earlier, and we were saying obviously Dallas Cowboys GM, can he fire himself, Pete? Yes or
no,
no?
yeah,
No, he can't.
no,
So he's not going anywhere. So there's no pressure there. It's
unless he
like
even
I've got my
retires him.
unless he retires, yeah, but it's kind of like there's no pressure. But even then, he'd still be pulling the strings. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things that, like, there's no pressure. Sometimes when, like we were saying, teams get desperate. If they were to move Dak, he would find a home this season because certain teams aren't going to be where they need to be. And certain GMs and head coaches are going to know that they're on the hot seat. I was saying New York Giants, probably not in the division, but all I'm saying is they're on the hot seat. Once they
Okay,
drop 0 and 5 to start, they're going to need a QB. Hey, Dak Prescott's available.
a question is, If the Cowboys were to re-sign Dak to a new contract, what do you think is fair value for what he brings to that team?
I mean, for me, fair value is probably Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins.
I was going to say Kirk Cousins kind of range. You're talking, what, $45 million?
He what
Exactly.
it's gonna be around that ballpark, but there's gonna be that tech like that Dallas Jerry Jones money under the table. Like, I'll look after you. You're in Dallas. Don't worry. Don't have to pay this. Don't have to pay that. You eat for free. There's gonna be a lot of that going on.
He's already
But
eating for free.
I don't think that. But I don't think Dak really wants that. I think he's at that point in his career where he's like, I'm sorry, I've taken a
He's
pay
on
cut.
40 at the
I've
moment.
waited. Yeah,
He's already
he's going for
he's already
50.
eating for free.
He's
Like,
going for
okay,
50. He
okay,
wants
so
50.
No, I don't think he's going to be. If
He wants 50.
I think they want more than that, because 50 doesn't even put him in the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
And here's the thing: does Dak truly want to be in Dallas? Like, we've heard of what Tad Prescott has been saying. Like, every other chance they get, it's like, please, can we
But,
sign me to a
okay.
team that wants me? You know.
Now let's flip it to the other side. Where could he realistically go to?
What, next season?
Yeah. If
Las
they
Vegas?
decide. Everyone can go to Las Vegas, because Las Vegas is a basket case in terms of, but would
Yeah,
you
Las
want to go
Vegas is
there?
an option. I think some teams will
Are
get
you more
desperate.
likely to win there? No.
They have a good team. Antonio Pierce and the guys, they're putting stuff together.
They're in the same division as the Chiefs, so it's, no.
Well, you're winning. Because you got Harbaugh as well to deal with. And you got Champagne and Denver Broncos. So you're past the Super Bowl is cut short. But it's purely, you know.
In terms of teams of guys that are holding a torch right now, who have we got? We've got Cleveland.
The Jets.
I was about to say that. If Aaron Rodgers didn't go beyond this season, then it would be the Jets, but that's about it.
Yeah, you've got the Jets.
The Jets. You've got another dark horse team that that he could go to is if Sunshine don't put it together.
That's not that. I mean, that's a downgrade. I mean, he'd basically be a bridge QB.
Wait. Come on now. You're trying to tell me Sunshine's better than Dak. Up to this
now,
point.
from a
he's underachieved, but I think he.
Dak is.
Of course, he's.
Dak was second team All Pro last season.
That's high honor. So basically, if it wasn't, who was first team All Pro? Was it Lamar?
I remember now. Season was so long ago. Season 2023. Well, it would have been Lamar because he won MVP, didn't he?
Yeah, but his stats were not well. He won it based on wins and importance in terms of value.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there aren't like a lot of options. I mean, Seattle, Saints with Carr. Like, maybe they try it this year, see how that goes.
The Saints is a good shout.
Saints is a good one. Cleveland. I mean, they're still tied to Watson, and I think that staff wants to make that work, or else it's going to be.
To make it work,
it's going to be. One of
they're
those
in last chance saloon as it is.
Last chance saloon, so they just need to try and make that
but
work. I think the head coach will stay, but that GM.
But you know the funny thing about Cleveland, even if they're in the last chance saloon, the shot's still getting all the money, whether they bench him, whatever. It's fully guaranteed. So regardless, even if he had a bad season this coming year, he's still going to get the money.
Yeah, we've talked about it in great depth. It's one of the dumbest contracts in league history. But so if Dak doesn't, there's a few landing spots if he were not to go beyond the Cowboys this season. But do we think that, from the Cowboys' perspective, the only option for them, if they were to get rid of him, do you think they could try and trade him away in the season? Is there no? I don't know if there's a no trade clause at the moment.
I think teams kind of don't want to make a move now because they want to sort of see how things go. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, let's say Seattle come out and they have a collapse. Like it's probably not going to happen. But let's say a team starts like 1-4, 0-5. You know, and they don't really have like a signal caller. Like if you're the Saints, if you're Seattle, you start to panic, and then you're thinking not necessarily this season. You kind of know, okay, this season realistically, it's
You're
probably
looking
down the
beyond that,
drain.
right?
It's down the drain. So let's look to the future. Let's look for what's going to happen next year. Why not bring in our guy now, get him in the system? He can probably sell a few more tickets, get bums on seats. We've got some excitement at the QB position for the remainder of the season. So it usually depends. Teams, once they're in camp mode, don't really like to make a lot of moves because they want to see what they've got. But it's only, like I said, if you start off 0-5, it's panic. And I reckon a few teams are definitely going to panic. There's teams every year. And it sort of has them reevaluating. You'll have mid-season firings, and I think that's the kind of opportunity that Dak Prescott will thrive on. Like, he's going to get offers. Like I said, he will get his money, but whether or not
It's just a
the question
matter of
is,
where.
yeah, it's a matter of where. Is it going to be at Dallas or is it going to be at another team? Time will tell.